Welcome in and welcome back. We are here to discuss a trailer for Iron Mask, a movie which seems to feature both Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan. Look, I don't know what this is, but it's for me. This, well, I'll get into that a little bit later, but so the one thing that really pops out from the trailer itself, what is this movie about? Some MacGuffin, it seems, some MacGuffin which will lead a dragon lady to ruling the world, which seems both stereotypical of Hollywood and Eastern culture. I'm not 100% sure what's going on here. I'm not 100% sure what the plot is. It seems to be a movie that, if it represents the trailer at all, will be extremely meandering and ultimately go nowhere in particular. But I think it's for me. Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan have comedic timing, even in a trailer which is cut this poorly. And the trailer itself is cut very poorly. I've got to throw that out there. I think it is necessary to acknowledge that, because what it probably is representative of is the fact that there's not a whole lot of budget going on here, and some of the special effects make it seem that way as well. But first, well, I'm not sure exactly where to go with this. I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure what this trailer is, but it's for me. It has vibes similar to the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies, but it's called Iron Mask, and it features a guy in an iron mask for about a second of the entire trailer. Is that the guy that the movie is about? Is that guy represented somewhere else in the trailer, but I could not recognize him because of the fact that in the Iron Mask, which is the titular role of the movie, he looks very different? I'm not sure, but it's for me. It looks like it could be a lot of fun, even though it has no plot. I'm not sure where it's going, but I do have to say that above and beyond all else, that dragon at the end of the trailer, whether the budget is there for special effects or not, that is the coolest looking dragon I've ever seen in media. And obviously, if you look at some of the things that are going on here, if you look at some of the colors that are employed, if you look at some of the backdrops, background settings that are going on that we're passing through, yada, 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 aesthetics are very important here. Cinematography might not be. A lot of the shots look flat, which it makes it look sort of like television, or like it was made for television. You often hear that comparison come up about like Joss Whedon films, like the first Avengers film, seem to get that accusation thrown at them. They look flat. They look like they were made for television. They do not have depth to them. But the colors here make the aesthetics seem like it was a first priority to this movie. I can see, just like with that Brendan Fraser Mummy movie, the first one anyway, I can see kids loving this. I can see this finding a niche audience. I remember that Mummy movie coming out when I was a kid, and I still have positive feelings about it. I think that one thing that gets lost a lot in Hollywood, or in this constant news cycle culture in which we live, I remember, so I watch the John Campea show sometimes against my better judgment, and there is some movie that came out with John Cena where he plays a firefighter. It's a movie that obviously has a target market, obviously has a niche in which it is meaning to play. That niche being children And look, on Strip Cover Lit, I made an entire 100-part series, it seems, reading Harry Potter. I am not above taking criticism to children's literature. I am not above taking criticism to media which is made for children through an adult scope to see, the ideas that might be laying under there. I'm not above that. But when it's not made for you, you have to acknowledge that. And watching Campia sort of try to tear apart a movie that is obviously made for children as if, no, that's not Shakespeare Campia, you dummy. It wasn't meant to be. It was meant to be for children. I'm off on a rant now. I'm on a ramble. But I think that we oftentimes lose sight of that some things can be just for children. And when something is made that children might admire, it can become very formative to them. A formative piece of media. I really enjoyed those Mummy movies when I was a kid, despite the fact that they probably had tones and jokes and things in there that were much more adult than those which I should have been watching at the time. Undoubtedly they did. I remember a guy being eaten by bugs. I think that was in the second one. I remember the do you swear every damn day? I remember that line. I remember watching that movie in grade school in what was that? Adventure Club. They propped us up in front of that movie. You couldn't do that today. But anyway, I'm off on a tangent now. Probably going to see this. Maybe not. Maybe going to see this. I know it was made for me.